host. And we are coming to you this Tuesday because every Monday we release a new episode. I don't. That's his world. So
Oh yeah.
every Monday, a new episode comes out where you can hear Jim in a new interview. And this week, he interviewed Dr. Kelly Turner, aka Kelly to him. They're besties now.
Mhm. Yes.
But she did specify how she's not a medical doctor, so sometimes that gets a little confusing. She's Kelly Turner with PhD at the end of it. She is a researcher, author, actress. Did she say actress? Film
Yes.
director. I mean, she's got lots of things going on. And she's been able to kind of blend it all together, which is really cool. So I'm just going to read a little bit about Kelly Turner, PhD. She is the one who is kind of coined, I guess, radical remission, something that doctors will term patients with cancer who cure naturally and they don't know how, is they call it spontaneous remission. And this was something that piqued her interest. And so she started kind of looking at these cases because they are in peer-reviewed scientific journals as well. So there's documentation of people healing outside of conventional medicine, which I didn't know and I found fascinating. I was like, oh, really? That's amazing. I wouldn't think that would be documented in that way. So she defines radical remission as a remission that occurs in the absence of conventional medicine or after conventional medicine has failed. So in this episode with Jim, Kelly Turner discusses her research in observing radical remission cases around the world, and her findings have remained consistent. And there are 10 she mentioned in the episode that she believes are kind of the foundation for all of these people. And I know, Jim, you have your own cancer journey and story. And so I'm kind of curious when she was talking about either these, if she went into all 10 and if they resonated with you as well, and just how this conversation went with her, because she has done so. I mean, she's got a docuseries out called Radical Remission. And like we've talked about, she's doing other stuff as well. What a book. So did you resonate with what she was saying and what her findings are? Because you went outside the conventional route, right? What was your experience in your healing journey that kind of blended into what her research is?
Well, yeah. I first of all, I too am not a medical doctor, in case you
Mm-hmm.
got confused. And I have no initials at the end of my name. But yeah, I resonate. I did do because I didn't do chemo. I mean, I had surgery, which was the worst part of my whole journey because it was my kids said I looked like Frankenstein when I was done, which I don't think that was a compliment, but I got pretty beat up there. But I mean, that was something that had to be done either way. But then I went through immunotherapy, which she loved, that concept. And Chris Wark even talks about the immunotherapy that I went through in his book as a positive thing.
Mm,
Because, rather than killing all your cells and, trying to kill you, it builds up your immune system to do what it's supposed to do. Of course, the downside of that, it is medicine, and there are side effects. So I didn't have a lot of side effects. I got a few though that are affecting my joints, but
mm.
still, that's why we think it's so much better to do natural things, plant-based things, whatever it may be, that do not have side effects. But and then she talked about the one thing I liked. She talked about that one person who wrote the book about laughter and how the
Mm.
healing processes of laughter. Of course, I've always been. I see it as, and people see it as immaturity with me. But my whole life, I just laugh
Yeah.
uh, at everything. I don't mean in a mocking way, but I just see humor. It's just the way I'm wired.
Hmm.
Um, which
But we
is
need those people, right?
yeah, yeah.
We
I
need
get
to.
on I get on serious people's nerves sometimes, but That's okay. They get on my nerves.
AKA your wife, maybe.
No, that's how I got her, man. If you meet
Oh.
her, if you met her, you think, wow, I don't know where he get her, but I made her laugh, and
Mm.
I quick
No,
married her while she
that makes sense. La- Laughter is medicine, and so it's always a joy to find somebody who can make you do that.
Yes, and of course you're very careful, as we are also, we're not bashing
Yeah.
medical doctors or conventional methods. We're just saying there's so much more to it. And I like the
Mhm.
fact that she wasn't trying to prove a point. She was basically putting it out there for people to see. And I never thought about this, but she said that how rare that these cases are, but they weren't as rare as she thought they would be. But I'm thinking, I was kind of taken back at first. I thought rare. And then I realized, well, yeah, that's true. Because I mean, there are millions of people that go the conventional way,
Mhm.
and the majority of them don't make it. They might at first, but then it comes back and takes them out. So it's really our job, those of us who have gone a different direction, to make them more known and less rare. That,
Mhm.
wow, God made these bodies in a certain way. We've butchered it, the process, by eating all kinds of stuff and being stressed out, and taking life too seriously sometimes, and whatever it may be for your life. But that's not the way God intended.
Yeah.
When you read about Jesus in the Bible, how he was never in a hurry, he was never stressed out over anything. And if anybody had things to be stressed out over, would be him. Especially, he knew what was coming at the end of his life on earth.
Yeah.
And most of us, well, probably all of us, would have been freaked out
Yeah.
if we knew that was coming for us. But he was always calm, like I say, never in a hurry. So, but yet we kind of ignore that. Well, that's just Jesus. I'm stressed out because I don't have control over this, which is true.
Mhm.
That's why we put it in God's hands, because he's a little bit bigger than us.
Yeah.
So I do like the fact that she said it was rare, because it kind of made me realize, wow, we have a job to do to get that info. That's why everybody needs to listen to the podcast.
Mhm.
All right. Get a couple million people listening.
Not just because you're the host, right? I mean, you're a wonderful host. You ask really great questions to keep the conversation going and dig a little bit deeper. And I kind of want to pause on what you made, the point you made, because that stuck out to me actually too when she said they're rare. And I was like, no, they're not. And it after I thought, no, they're not, it's just because there are the majority. We're being kind of message too, this is the normal, like this is what you do when you get cancer. And before, the Lord led me into seeing natural health and meeting people like you, Jim, and Susie, and all the other people within Healing Strong as well. Is I just thought there was one way. I didn't know, and that's because there's just one voice kind of rising above the rest. And we're not saying that voice is positive or negative. It's just, it's the loudest voice. And so that's why it's important to share our stories. And so, yeah, I echo that. Like, it's rare because we just need to share those stories more.
Yep, yep, which is what we're trying to do. And eventually the tide is turning. Um, but it's always slow. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, obviously, but
It's a big
uh,
boat to turn. So
yeah,
that rudder's not moving real fast. It's going to
but
take a little while.
it's not a kayak. But
Yeah.
yeah, but we got good news, and I'm excited because I have, like, with my own home group, I've had two people reach out to me in the past week that I've never met before, but they have some diagnosis or just moved into the area, look for a Healing Strong group, and so
Hmm.
they'll be joining it. And so that's just more people that are coming on, and
Yay.
yeah, I'm excited about that. But Kelly, I'm sorry, Dr. Turner, to the rest of you, uh,
I know.
she she was very, very nice and very, very sweet about it all. And she's saying she's going in a different, not a different direction, but with her acting and her producing, directing, screenwriting, the stuff we all do on the side.
Yeah.
Um, she's going in that direction. And it's all about telling stories, which is what we're doing. But she
Hmm.
still has that, what she had put into place of that research. She still has people that'll be doing that research and keeping that going. So that's exciting. And I got to read her book now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's another point about that. I was watching the part of the documentary that she put out, and for the first time, I heard people talking about being healed from ALS,
Mm,
and which struck me because I recently have a friend who just got diagnosed with it, and it's pretty much everyone goes, well, nothing you can do about it. It's just they're going to be gone a couple of years at the most. But I've never heard it, but it makes sense to me. I mean, it's not like something comes in our bodies that there's nothing we can do about it. The medical field might think that because there's no medicine. There's some medicine you can slow it down a little, but there's really no medicine you can put on it to stop it. But I'm like, well, there are things, and that's one reason why I got to get that book also. But she also sent me to a website that she heard from Bailey O'Brien.
mm.
Or
And
Healing
Bailey,
Strong.
for those who don't know her, she's within Healing Strong, and she leads right now a Heals Bible study, I believe. But she has her own cancer story, stage 4.
Stage 4 melanoma. We're melanhomies, as she says. But
I like that.
But it's a I think it's called healingals.com or .org. But I went on there. There's all these stories about people that are reversed their ALS, which is just blew my mind. I'm like,
I have to share that with a friend. So it's Healing ALS, and it's either .org or .com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there are people in there giving testimonies on either reversing it or slowing it down. I mean, they've lived 20, 30 years past it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, yeah. So it's exciting. It's not just cancer. There's all kinds of things that are a death sentence to everybody else, but maybe God's onto something. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he knew what he was doing from the beginning, giving us what we needed. We just kind of have veered way off the path.
Yeah.
I do appreciate too that now she's kind of, because she mentions like it started with cancer because that's who she was serving in, I believe when she was working in the hospital. I can't remember where she was working, but she was working with cancer patients. And now with the Radical Remission series, she started featuring 2 stories outside of cancer because she's recognizing this is even outside of the cancer realm. And so I think it's really cool to be able to see how God made our bodies. And it doesn't really matter. Disease is disease, right? The body's out of balance in any regard when it comes to disease and illness. So I think that was really cool. And I'm excited to see like how much more she kind of highlights other aspects of illness and how people do.
Yes. So it was a good interview. I enjoyed it. I was actually at an Airbnb in Florida. I had just taken my daughter back down there. And so it sounds like I'm in a kitchen or something. It's because I am. It's always echo. I put pillows up, but it's like, oh, that sounded terrible.
I noticed there was it sounded a little off and a little different. So that's funny. So anybody who listens now can just envision Jim in the kitchen with pillows around him.
Yeah. I didn't have enough pillows.
That's funny because I was like, is he a little nasally? Like, is he okay?
Yeah, I was fine.
Oh, that's good. You're healthy. That's good.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you haven't listened to the podcast yet, Dr. Kelly Turner highlights people with cancer and now is starting to explore beyond cancer, those who have healed outside of conventional medicine. And outside of conventional medicine basically means outside of the surgery, chemo, radiation, and have done other things. And so that's what we do at Healing Strong here is help educate and encourage through providing tools and resources free of charge of what other options are, of what you can do. And we really encourage to pray about it because we want the Lord to actually lead your steps because as Kelly talks about, we all have this intuition. And so as believers, we know that the Lord will lead our steps. And with that information that you learn and you glean from other members in the groups, you can pray about and let the Lord lead which direction for you to go. Because she said there's common themes, but they're all individualized. And I love that because things do overlap that we end up doing or that patients end up doing in their healing journey, but it's not going to be a cookie cutter solution. It will
Yeah.
look different.
Yeah. She and I are having coffee later today, so we'll discuss more about this. But
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just
I'm
so,
glad to interview her because it was fun to listen to, and she's very well spoken, like you said, very intelligent, and she's not against conventional. She is just very intrigued by the people who are healing without it. And so that's who she is studying. Like she brought up that analogy in it with the shoes in Kenya. I was like,
yes.
oh, that's a good mentality for a researcher to have because it can very easily, I think, influence and you start to become anti things. So
Yes. Yes.
yeah, I thought
True.
that was a good analogy and approach. So thank you, Mr. Jim Man, for doing these interviews and bringing us these wonderful people of
Sure.
testimonies and research and all that stuff. So I know we're coming down towards the end of the season. How many more episodes do we have left?
Well, actually, I think that was the last of the season because we're going into
Oh,
the holidays and then boom, we're
yes.
actually into the holidays, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We are not far. Less than 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. So Dr. Kelly Turner ends our season 2, you guys. You can catch up over the holidays as you're wrapping, just have it on off to the side, or as you're cleaning up, cooking, whatever, and catch up on the stuff before season 3 starts. So when can people expect season 3 to kind of generally start so that they know when to start paying attention?
Well, it's going to be in 2023. I know
Okay,
that.
that's fantastic.
Probably midway in January is my goal.
Oh, okay. Sooner than I was thinking. So by the end of January, we'll say.
Yeah. I'm just
Before
speaking.
February.
Yeah, I have usually women make the decision for me, so I threw that out there, which means they'll say no, it's going to be in April or something. So
Yeah. So definitely by February, sometime in the first, let's say 3 to 6 weeks.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Well, just
Great.
so people have an idea, there's like a good month off where you can catch up on season 1 and or 2 before we start 3. So,
Right, and there'll be a final exam for you. So be
yes.
studying.
Yeah. And quiz time on inspirational stories.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your holidays. I probably won't
Yes.
see you for
I'm
a
going shopping with my daughter here in a second.
Oh, nice. Well, tell her hello and Merry Christmas
All
and
right.
many blessings and good memories and good visits. And I like to say we don't have years with people, we have visits. So enjoy your visit.
All right. I will do it. You too.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay.
All right.